Hello everyone, this is Dave with Moonride, where we're channeling the man in the moon. I'm going to take a look at violence and see how we can prevent it, or what we should do in regard to this from man in the moon's perspective. Alright. So, Spirit, what can we do in regard to violence which may surround this upcoming election? All right. So look, there's a public square, and in the public square, I can see soldiers, and the soldiers seem positive. It seems like the soldiers are keeping an eye out and protecting people. This seems like a recommendation as well. There should be a good deal of security around any voting place. I would insist that your leaders put such people there. I think there's no problem in calling your leaders and telling them that you want to make sure that you are protected. It's interesting because I'm seeing a woman with a baby, and I just get the feeling of, take care of the baby, take care of the baby. And I would just say that I think this really means this is how you should protect yourself. Be very cautious, go in, keep your eyes open, listen to your intuition and see how you feel about it. Do not engage in too much conversation while you're in line that's political. Again, just keep your eyes very, very wide open. I don't see any specific attacks, but I do feel like there will be intimidation and, coming close to violence, but not actual violence. I think this can be prevented. Yeah, just be, you must act in peace yourself. Don't amp up anything. There's no point in having an argument with someone anywhere close to the public sphere. That doesn't mean you should suppress your opinions, but at least, speaking in front of the ballot box. Now, just be very careful about what you say. People don't need to know that much about how you voted. Just, again, keep your eyes peeled. If there's anything around voting, anything that looks strange or suspicious, it's very important that you go and you tell somebody. I don't know why that package is sitting there. Is it okay? I mean, don't create some kind of panic. But everybody who's watching should have, walking in the door, know who the authority is in the room. Get some idea about what the dynamic is going on there, and pressure your political leaders to protect you. That's their job. And, it's not going to show up very well on them if something happens. So you pressure them and pressure them and pressure them. And don't hesitate to yell at them, okay? You walk into a polling place and something's out of whack, the first person, you go to the front of the line and you tell somebody who's in charge, like, this is not okay, I need you to take care of that right now, what are you guys doing? And, if necessary, film them not doing their job and tell them, I'm going to have to talk to somebody in authority. You guys need to make sure that this is a safe place for us. We have to really assert ourselves in this regard. Don't count on the government to help you, because they're not going to do it. They're not prepared. This is too outside of their expectation for them really to get, and they can't have their eyes anywhere. It's not entirely their fault. You have to be the eyes that are protecting this society. That is as part of our job. And be peaceful. Whatever you do, you can state your opinions, you can have a strong argument with someone, as long as it doesn't involve any kind of threats. Ideally, of course, you're going to state your opinion as calmly as possible and just leave that person to whatever devices they've got going on. You're not going to change their mind. There's no reason in having a screaming knockdown argument. And if you appear to be the aggressor, that's going to turn people off anyway. You should be the most you should address these issues, but with some degree of calmness. And now is not the time for any kind of, real aggression or violence. There may be a time in self-defense. We could look at the American Revolution or something. There may be a time when we have to be physically assertive, but this is not that time. This is the opposite time. You have to be assertive without getting physical. And that's anything. That's verbally physical. That's, physically bringing your body closer to someone you're arguing with. Nothing is solved in this way. Absolutely nothing. You're just putting an argument in perspective for people to watch on television and then take it a step further. Step away from those arguments. You can quietly protest. That is your right and obligation. You can protect people you care about. But if you see any kind of violence, it's your job, especially if you're on the same team as that person. It is your job to go up to there and say, hey, look, this is not helping our cause. This is the only thing the cameras are focusing on. This is a peaceful organization. We do not want you in our group if you can't be peaceful. And, follow it up. I'm going to call the police on you if you don't resist doing this. Just to show you're not part of our group. You have to stop this violence. Going and protesting is not necessarily a violent thing. You can be very assertive about this. And, look at Dr. Martin Luther King and that whole movement. All of that was peaceful. The Indians who were liberated, and I mean people from India, were liberated from the British by peaceful action. Right? Every camera should look at us and say, oh, there's that peaceful person. I believe in them. I agree with them. They're right. This is the right thing to do right now. Let them do the Tai Chi. Let the crazy people show their craziness. At the same time, you are going to sit in your justice. At the same time, you're going to be very aware and... in effect, you're being kind of brave just by voting right now. That's something to take pride in. I would do everything I could to, be watchful and understand that, it's going to be extremely rare if there is any kind of violence or something like that. It's going to be an exception, not the rule, right? So do keep that in mind when you're walking in. But, recently a woman stopped a terrorist attack based on a Facebook message she got from a racist who was saying something about her daughter. That lady has been given very little credit, and I must admit I can't remember her name. But she stopped a wholesale slaughter of a bunch of school kids just because she was paying attention, and she didn't do anything aggressive, and she's totally peaceful, and she's not political at all. Good for her. It's sad that I don't know her name. I certainly know the name of the aggressors. But that's the way that we must be. You must be very altruistic and interested in others and your community. Again, when you're going and doing that and you're keeping an eye on everything and you're being fair and you're being peaceful, you're participating in your community. You're participating with other people. That's what is lacking right now. It is a personal communication. It is a community of people that comes together. And you will be coming together to vote. You will be coming together to be political in some personal and social ways. That's really, really good. That's what we're lacking. The other thing is, don't let the news amp you up. It's just amplifying everything by 1,000 times. Come on. 15 years ago, none of those Proud Boys would get any airtime. It's just because now we've got 2 million different methods of media, and they're all out of control, and they all force the most extreme people to the forefront. And most people are not so cut and dried. They're not so extreme. That's not the average person. Spirit, is there anything else that we should know? Just be very peaceful. Just be as peaceful and wise as possible. All right? Very, very, just be very observant. And just kind of know what you're going into. And, possible, check in with your feeling before you're going to vote. Check in with your feelings. Does something feel off? This might be a good beginning for you to sort of become more intuitive and, channel on your own. That doesn't mean go crazy or anything, but just check yourself. See. So what's that? Does that seem right? Does this seem right? Um, yeah. The other thing that you can do is when you walk into the place, ask for protection. So ask spirit for protection when you go into some field where you feel like you're gonna do some kind of protest or you're voting and it doesn't feel comfortable. Ask spirit to protect you. And then just keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, because spirit might send you a message. We definitely want you to vote. We don't want it to be that everybody is afraid to participate. That's never going to lead to a good society. Look, America's going to work out. You can look at other countries that went through many different revolutions. They're still countries. France has been through I don't know how many governments. They're still a successful country with happy people, and we will be the same. We will go through this, and we will emerge, and it will get a lot better fairly soon as people start to take in what has come about in our culture. America will always be a great country because it will always return to these roots. It might diverge sometimes, but it will always come back. It will always be America. And although Americans have done terrible things, we do always come back to self-evaluation and understanding history, knowing what's right and what is wrong. Yeah, we will prevail. Justice will prevail, and the true spirit of America will always prevail. All right. Thanks for watching.